Hi, everyone. Dr. Justin Goldston here. And in the next video, we're going to begin with the Web3 use cases for the government. And similar to whenever we're talking about quadratic funding, we could also use quadratic voting within the government. Within my TED Talk in 2019, I just brought up the use case with the government for a presidential election in the United States. And fast forward the next couple of years, we had a little debacle within the United States, but that could have been prevented if those votes were transparent on the blockchain, right? So for the government, if we make those votes transparent, if we make decisions that were done by a number of government entities transparent, we could remove some of the corruption that we have in governments around the world. So the transparency of blockchain could be one use case that would be used in the government. But the question is, will they want that much transparency, right? So the government is one thing. In terms of media, the metaverse is going to have a big impact on media. NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are already beginning to be used within the media. There's one artist in Canada where he created 1 million NFTs for an album. And he made 1 million NFTs of an album and sold them for $1, okay, US. Once that NFT was released, it sold out in 40 seconds. Now, not only did he make $1 million in 40 seconds, not only did he go platinum in 40 seconds, because it was an NFT, I could have bought 10 of those. I could have bought 10 of those albums, which were NFTs. I only need one. So then I'm going to resell that album for $10 that it's normally going to be on iTunes for Apple, right? And I'm going to get $9 back because that artist is going to get $1. So if they do it right and they do the royalties, so not only do they get the initial sale of $1 million, but if he puts it in a smart contract, that he gets 10% of every single sale from now until the end of time, that individual is getting royalties for the rest of their lives. Their children is getting their royalties for the rest of their lives. So media is going to be, that's just the music industry, right? Now we're also seeing with NFTs, with like Bored Apes, for example, you're going to be able to monetize off of NFTs such as Bored Apes, such as World of Women, because they can be included within TV shows, they can be included within movies, and then you're going to be able to monetize off of that. Also with artists on the contracts, all of those contracts where that's been an issue within the music industry, all of those contracts were written on a blockchain. And although some contracts were written, some artists still have issues of receiving payments, right? Because there's intermediaries, there's humans dealing with those contracts. If it's within the smart contract, that money gets locked up, and then that money automatically gets dispersed to the artist, right? So Web3 and blockchain is going to have a significant impact on media. In terms of banking, we talked a lot about banking in the first video, but one thing that we did not talk about was CDBCs, Central Bank of Digital Currencies, where there's going to be some countries that are going to create their own stablecoin. And similar to our traditional stablecoin, that's decentralized and controlled by the people, where it's a peer-to-peer transaction, CDBCs are going to be centralized, right? Now, some people feel that is a potential issue because they can freeze digital currencies more than they could actually freeze your funds in the bank, right? So if you did not pay your taxes, they could actually freeze your digital currencies, right? So And also, if it's a CDBC and they have digital currencies, they will be able to see where you spend every single one of your dollars with a central digital currency. Okay, so CDBCs provide visibility indeed, but does it provide too much visibility? Now that's a question that you have to ask yourself. Also, we have discussed hybrid finance. So hybrid finance is the combination of decentralized finance, like we talked about in the first class, where we have platforms such as Uniswap and SushiSwap, where it's peer-to-peer transactions, but then you have centralized finance like the traditional banks. Now there are some banks that are open that are understanding the Web3 movement, and they are allowing a hybrid finance model where you could have your employer give you half of your salary in crypto and half of your salary in fiat, your native currency. Okay, so you're going to see these hybrid finance approaches emerging in the coming years. But yeah, CDBCs have been talked about over the past couple of years. Dairy. So dairy, similar to supply chain, the tracking, and so dairy and pharma, they're going to be very similar in nature in terms of the tracking and tracing of so for dairy, it's from farm to the grocery store or farm to the consumer, so that we can ensure that everything that has been documented by the FDA in the United States is indeed correct. In terms of pharma, we talked about healthcare and the importance of tracking and tracing those pharmaceutical drugs to ensure that they are not counterfeit, and the source of those drugs. Okay, in terms of water, the usage of water can be tracked and traced, on the blockchain. If we use the Internet of Things, I think that's going to contribute to the usage of water, especially in certain countries. Digital KYC. So with KYC stands for Know Your Customer. And within Web3, within blockchain, a number of people move to the blockchain space because you can be anonymous. In other cases, know your customer is one way to digitally verify certain users, certain individuals. So digital KYC is going to be an easy way to do that, especially within certain industries. Okay, digital KYC is going to be one thing. So our digital it's also referred to as a digital identity. So digital KYC or digital Know Your Customer is going to be one thing that's going to continue to emerge within the Web3 space. Oil and gas. Again, the transparency of the source of oil and gas. We can also trade using cryptocurrencies in certain countries. Now, we may be a ways away from that, but I think that you're going to see the entry of trading with digital currencies for oil and gas in the future. Tourism. Within tourism, the metaverse. Augmented reality, virtual reality is going to have a huge place in tourism. AR and VR. So if you wanted to go to Spain, right, I can throw on an AR and VR headset, and it could be like I'm actually in that country that I always wanted to go to. I always want to go to Africa. I want to go on an African safari. So I could actually use AR and VR and be on an African safari, saving me a lot of money. So you're going to see the entrance of AR and VR within the tourism industry. And then finally, we have insurance. So similar to the legal aspect where we have a lot of middlemen, you're going to see a lot of things written on a smart contract where it's going to take out some administrative roles within the insurance industry. A lot of underwriting within the insurance industry will be written on smart contracts, and that is going to make it's going to potentially bring the cost down of insurance because the overhead will be reduced because a lot of those things will be automated. And then also in terms of insurance, artificial intelligence will have its place within the insurance industry where they will be able to better quote certain things. They will be able to look at past history of individuals when quoting insurance. So that's all we're going to have for this video. Until next time.